Hello, everyone. How are you today? And welcome. Welcome to Embracing Your Essence on Lily Dale Radio. I am Colleen Vanderzijden, and I will be the one talking this evening. So I want to thank you so much for joining me. As you do come on, please let me know you're here. I would love to see your name in the comments and where you're from. It's always good to know that people are out there watching, but also I want to make sure the technology is working as usual. So today we are going to be talking about soul growth. But before I get to that topic, I do want to mention all sorts of things. Lilydale Assembly will be opening for the summer season around June 24th, 25th. I'm not sure which date it is. It's the Friday, whichever one is around there. And we will be opening for the summer season right up through Labor Day. As far as I understand it, things will be fairly normal, depending, of course, on New York State's rules and regulations. So you can come, you can have readings with mediums, you can visit the outdoor services. We have 3 outdoor services a day. You can come and visit those and get messages from the mediums at Lilydale. Workshops will be online as well as in person. So visit lilydaleassembly.org and you can see what is being offered specifically this summer and what you're interested in. And online as well, you can purchase your tickets for workshops and find out everything you need to know about Lilydale so far that we know of as yet. I do understand we're waiting for the final directives from the state as in terms of how far we are open. You can also go to Lilydale Assembly Incorporated on Facebook and find out everything that's happening there. They're posting all the events and everything that's coming up as well. Hello, everybody. I got to say hello to you all. Hello, Ray. Nice to see you. Hello, Mother. Hi, Denise and Joanna and Jill and Ashley. Nice to see you guys tonight. And let's see, what else do I need to tell you? I am a medium. I'm a medium at Lilydale Assembly. And today we just filmed a little commercial, TV commercial that we're going to be doing and showing all over the place. So that'll be fun when that comes out. And the women's group has also they did a movie, Women's Day movie. And so that will be coming out in August. And when I have more information on that title and everything else, I will let you know all about that as well. So as I said, I am a medium. We connect in with the loved ones on the other side. And I'm also a certified intuitive life coach. And as a life coach, I like to help people live their best lives possible. And on every show I do right here, it's turned into basically a mini workshop. I give you something to think about and something to play with and practice so that you can be happier while you are living this physical existence. Hi, Chuck. Nice to see you. So today, as I said, we are going to be talking about soul growth. And I am going to be talking about the importance of your present lifetime in your soul's evolution. And you know how sometimes we feel like, is this all there is? We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about some keys for soul growth. The 3 keys that can help you understand what's happening as your soul is growing. And we are also going to talk about a simple way to discover your soul's lessons, which will then take me, of course, to a very brief mention of your soul's purpose in this lifetime. We always get stuck in purposes, right? Don't we? Because we feel like our purpose has to be something grand, it has to be something that affects everyone, or it has to be something specific. But your soul already has a purpose, and we are going to talk about that and how you can implement that purpose into your life if you're not already doing so. Let's see. Hi, Julie. Nice to see you. And hi, Alexis. And so today, here we go. Let's get to it. I was talking to a friend and he said to me, well, we're born, we live, we die. We just have a bunch of problems between when we were born and when we die. That's all there is. And I thought, whoa, that's excuse me, that's quite a perspective on life. It's a little bit of a defeatist perspective, really. But I can understand it because sometimes our life feels like an uphill battle, doesn't it? It's one problem after another. Or no matter what we try or what we do, we can't seem to get ahead. Or we experience those obstacles one after another. And when all of this is happening, it can help us kind of move into this state of defeatism. I'm not sure that's a word, but whatever. We can move into that state where we don't believe life can be better. And with all these challenges that we have in life at times, we can easily get entangled in them and get entangled in the belief that life is too hard. So we're focused on our problems because that's what we're doing in the physical life we're living externally. So we're focused on those problems. And then sometimes we get unhappy, of course, and we think that life is unfair. There are other times too, we may not have big problems, but we have that simple feeling of being dissatisfied. Like there has to be more to our lives than what we're currently experiencing. Have you ever felt that? I know I have. There have been times in the past where I've thought to myself, really? Is this it? Is this all there is? There has to be more to life than this. Get up in the morning, you go to work, or you deal with this problem or that problem. You rush and do all your chores and errands before you come home. You rush and make dinner. Then you rush to do chores around your house. And then you go to bed and you do it again. And it just seems like this cycle of never ending stuff all the time. And when we think this, is this all there is? Or, does it get better? Is there a point? Why are we even here? There is more to your current lifetime than what you're physically experiencing. You are actually here right now in this very lifetime to develop your soul's evolution, to help your soul evolve. And we're using this lifetime to help us evolve spiritually. I've always felt like we choose our lessons before we incarnate into this physical body. So before we come into the physical as a baby, as a soul on the other side, we've already decided how we want to grow. We've already decided what kind of life we're going to have. We've already decided what our lessons are. And if this is a new concept for you, and it can be for some people when you think about it like that, we've already decided before we got here. And I know right away there's lots of questions like, I would never have chosen some of these things. I will talk about those. But if this is a new concept, just open your mind and allow it to kind of sink in a little bit and see if it rings true for you. Okay, so if we decide our lessons as a soul, decide our lessons before we come here, this can be a basis for everything. If our soul has chosen this lifetime as a way to grow and learn certain lessons, learn about certain lessons, we can see that there's a bigger picture than being stuck in our problems. We could be focused instead on our soul growth instead of the problems. And when we shift our perspective and look at life from this angle, our challenges will actually become less challenging. And we're all always looking for joy and happiness. So this is a different way to kind of look at life so you can get some more of that joy and happiness back into your life. Joanna is saying, I'm so unbelievably grateful to have learned this lesson. Yes, there is so much more to life than we think there is. And so what's going to happen? I'm going to talk about this a little bit, what this all means, some ideas to think about. And as we're going, of course, always as usual, feel free to write comments and I will respond to them. I can see the comments on my page, Colleen Vander Zijden, Medium and Intuitive Life Coach. Follow me there if you haven't. And you might check to see if I've invited you, but you haven't followed me yet. So you might check that and see. If you're on the Lily Dale page, I cannot see your comments until after the show concludes because I can only see one feed at a time. So we are going to talk about all of this. And if we can shift our perspective on what life is all about, it really does change our lives. So when we grow as a person, striving to be authentic, striving to be our true selves, what that means is we are living as our soul. Okay, it's essential. The soul is who we truly are. So if we are trying as best we can to live as who we truly are, that means we're in alignment with our soul. So I'm going to talk about some keys for soul growth. One of the first things to consider is this understanding that at your soul level, you have chosen your path for your soul growth. That it's essential, that this lifetime is essential for your soul to evolve and expand. This is a huge concept, okay, because with our problems, we've kind of forgotten that part. And we're not here in the physical life just to get up in the morning, go to bed at night, and just keep repeating the same thing over and over. That will cause us to become stagnant. We are meant to grow and evolve. And if we stick with the soul part, it's better. We're not here to waste time. So if we've chosen this path, that we're currently on for our soul's growth and evolution, that means at our soul level, we know what we're doing. Isn't that amazing? Because when you think about this, how many times have we thought, I have no clue what I'm doing? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do next. I don't know why I'm doing this problem now. I don't know this. But at our soul level, we do. And as we're walking this path, this lifetime, we have free will to walk it as we want to. We can respond to the circumstances as we want to. If we are open and aware of our soul and its growth and its power and how it can help us, we recognize that our soul has brought us to where we are for our benefit. So this is a huge thing. Our soul has taken us to this particular lifetime with all your unique problems and challenges because this is exactly what you need to help your soul evolve. Crazy, isn't it? But not. This also means that if we've decided ahead of time what our lessons are, and even though we have free will and we can change things at all times, that life really isn't random. That random things aren't just happening to us. Although it may appear to be at times, and definitely there have been times we say to ourselves, I would never have chosen this path. It's not random because your soul has chosen it. Even if we make a mistake or we do something wrong, in quotes, it's still not random because we are the ones at our soul level who have chosen the path. And I know for some of you, this is really hard to hear because we think, when we think about this, that everything is here and that we've chosen it. Our natural inclination is to go, no way, I would never do that. I would never choose these situations. You know, we think about the losses of maybe the important people in our lives or our really huge challenges. And that's when we will resist this idea and say, I would never have chosen it. And I get it because I felt the same way. But what if your soul, in its infinite wisdom, is brave and courageous, not stuck in believing that whatever happens in our physical life is most important, that our soul is not stuck in the physical emotions or the problems, but your soul actually says, I'm going to come into this lifetime and I'm going to do whatever I have to remember my soul and help it grow and evolve. Your soul, and that is you as well, your soul is brave and courageous. Think about this. Okay, so you're on the other side and you're going to come back in for another lifetime. I believe in reincarnation. We won't get into that today. So I believe we come through a few times or a lot of times and to learn different things. On the other side, we are spirit. We understand a lot, but we don't get to feel things like we do here in the physical existence. So you're on the other side and you're thinking, hey, I'm going to go back down there to earth and I'm going to have another lesson. And, you think to yourself, maybe you go, I'm not so sure I want to. Last time I was there, it was pretty hard. I had this problem, this problem, this problem. I don't know if I really want to. And, you're talking to your soul basically. And your soul says, yeah, but when you get there, you're going to have a lot of fun too. It's not going to be just all problems. It's not going to be all hard. And your soul says to you, you know that that's where you learn the best. That's where you have the most exciting, interesting, and strange experiences. And your soul's like, you've got this. You can handle this. And so then you get all talked up inside yourself and you say to yourself, you know what, I do have this. I'm going to go back down there and I am going to have the most amazing time and I'm going to remember this conversation. But we don't. And then we say to ourselves, while we're still on the other side, I'm brave, I'm courageous, I can handle it, it's going to be perfect. I know what I'm doing, I've got this. And then we come into our physical lives. We've forgotten that conversation. We've forgotten so much of what we already know from the other side. But it's still within you, it's still within your soul. So your soul already knows how brave and courageous you are. You chose to come here. This is huge. Embrace it. Own it. It's a wonderful thing. Your soul already knows all of this. So that means you know this. So becoming more consciously aware of this deeper perspective of life can help you handle your issues. And I'm going to talk more about those, of course. Ashley is saying maybe this life is really just the beginning, right? Because everything we've gone through, whether this lifetime, another lifetime, on the other side as a soul and spirit, we've already experienced so much. But yet everything is a new beginning for us. It's a new way of learning and growing and evolving. So you are here. You've chosen to step in here, brave soul that you are. So you're here for your soul growth. And thinking about this a little bit further, this means that you're connected with the power of the divine essence, that your soul is the divine essence as well. So that can help us kind of build our strength and power back up so we don't feel quite so alone or crazy for coming back in here. So we are powerful because we are divine. The soul is a part of this. So as we're here, remember, no matter what's happening, you're deciding how you're living. It may not be a conscious intellectual decision. It may be from your heart or your soul, and you're making decisions that way. So we can use this divine energy to guide us. So the second key to your soul growth is what I've been harping on here, that your life situations are important. Everything is important. There is a perfect order to your path. You chose it. It's perfect. There's a perfect order to your path so that you could evolve to a higher level with awareness here in the physical, with what I'm sharing with you today. If it's new to you, just remember, keep your mind open. Just this understanding, the consideration of embracing this idea that you're here to help your soul evolve will help your soul evolve faster and will help you continue your growth as a spiritual being connected to the divine essence. So if what you're experiencing is important to your soul growth, everything that's happened in your life is important to your soul growth, you have free will and can make the choice to reframe your perspective on situations and problems. You can reframe your perspective. You can look at them differently. You can place less weight on the physical problems, the external issues, and more weight on wanting to help your soul grow. So lots of times when I talk about this and we talk about how we've chosen what we're going to come into in this lifetime, people like to say, well, it means you've chosen your parents, and which is all well and good if you had good parents, right? But we all know people who haven't. And so people will say, well, I would never have chosen those parents. They were horrible, they were uncaring, they were abusive, whatever it is. I would never choose them. So if we want to reframe this, there's perception there. As part of your soul growth, how did your parents help you learn? Particularly if you had parents who were more challenging. So how did your parents help you learn? How could having those particular parents help your soul grow? How did they help your soul grow? Maybe you learned how not to be. Maybe you learned to become independent at an early age. Maybe you had to work really hard to love yourself after feeling unloved by a parent. And here's a little bit of a shift on your soul's perspective there. What if before you and your parents came into this lifetime, you had a little conversation together and you said to your parents to be, you said, I really want to learn how to love myself in this lifetime. And your parents said back to you, you know what? We can help you with that, because what we'll do is when we come into this physical life, we will make sure we are not loving you. We're going to make sure we don't take care of you like we should. We're going to make sure you feel unloved and uncared for. And you, being strong, brave, and courageous, said, oh, perfect. That will really help me learn how to love myself. Then, of course, you come into the physical life, you experience that. It's not pleasant. You've forgotten. Maybe you had this conversation before you got here, and Your parents chose to be unloving, unkind people because they wanted to help you achieve your goal in your soul evolution. Isn't that something to think about? Yes, they gave up whatever it is they wanted to achieve, maybe for their own evolution, because they wanted to help you learn how to love yourself by presenting themselves as somebody who didn't love you. So that is a different way to shift your soul's perspective and see how that feels for you. Yes, Greg is saying the psychic Edgar Casey says at a soul level, we pick or design our life's curriculum. Sometimes maybe you think you bit off a little more than you can chew, but yes, we chose it. Yes. And Leanne is saying, as we near the end of my mother's life, I have a much clearer understanding of the roles we each played in each other's lives. That's a beautiful way to put that, Leanne, because we all have our roles. We're all here connected together to help each other in one way or another. So thinking about the lives we've chosen here as we come in and our life's curriculum, as Greg is saying, it is a little bit hard to grasp if you've never considered this idea before, because we are focused on the physical. So if this is something that's hard for you to consider, it's because you've been focused on the external situations and the problems. So just as I said before, keep opening your mind so that you can look at this from maybe a new angle. Candace is saying, just like a book, an author places secondary characters to assist main characters in their journeys. Exactly. Our stories are about ourselves. Everybody who's in our story has a part to play in our story, just as we have a part to play in other people's stories. And we've all got this planned out ahead of time. So hard to believe, isn't it? But it's true. So I had a client whose sister had mental and physical disabilities. And we might wonder why the sister would come into this lifetime with these specific challenges of physical and mental issues. You know, why would someone choose that, right? And we're thinking about that on the physical level. But I had the pleasure actually of talking to her sister after she passed. And she told us that part of her soul's purpose was to come into the physical existence in that capacity so she could express love from a different way and also give other people an opportunity to express love and caring back to her. This was all part of her soul's evolution. When I was touching in with her on the other side, she had such a purity of spirit. She felt very clear to me, as though she were an angelic presence, who was so highly evolved that to come into the physical with these challenges was something she totally embraced and chose. And I can tell you that this woman's sister, who was my client in the physical, the love between everybody was amazing. So the person on the other side had achieved her soul's evolution and purpose in this lifetime. Baba Yaga, my eyes were bigger than my stomach when it came to this lifetime. Oh no, you've still got lots of time. Everything is in divine order and it will all come in exactly the way it's supposed to. So if you think your eyes are bigger, then all those things are still coming. No worries there. I believe they are placed in our lives to teach us compassion and unconditional love. Yes, exactly. Exactly. There's so much there. So many opportunities we have. And when we do get stuck in the physical, we forget about those things. So your soul chose this particular lifetime and everything that's happening in it because it's necessary for your soul growth. So now, although I'm always focusing on our problems and our challenges, right? And how to feel better, how to shift those, how to not get stuck in the pain of them, we also need to remember for our soul growth that we came into this lifetime with the wisdom of our souls. It's not like we were just dropped in and we didn't know anything. We came in with the wisdom of our soul, so we have access to it. We have access to that courage. We also brought in all of our wonderful positive qualities and abilities that maybe we developed in past lives or we had as a soul being, whatever it is. We've all brought in these positive qualities. So the third key in your soul growth is to acknowledge what gifts you brought into this lifetime. You know, when you think about these things, you'll reclaim your power and understand the bigger picture. Part of your soul's purpose is to recognize we are part of the whole. And with that, we have a responsibility to contribute positively to the oneness. Okay, so we are all connected as a whole. We are the oneness. And we do have a bit of responsibility to contribute to this. Okay, we're out talking about how we play the role in different people's lives. It's all about this. So think about your skills and abilities. What comes easy for you? You might even minimize them as unimportant because they're so normal, in quotes, for you. They're so normal. These are aspects of your soul that help you create more meaning and purpose in this life. So how do you help others? Maybe you're a good listener. Maybe you're generous with your time or your money. Do you bring joy to people? Maybe you create something of beauty. Helping people is part of our soul's purpose. This doesn't mean you have to save the world. It means your presence alone makes a positive contribution. Just by being alive, you can make a positive contribution. Even if you don't directly help people or animals or the environment for that matter. If you do the best you can to be a good person, your vibration will positively impact others. And then we're in that soul connection of oneness. Candace is saying, teaching third grade makes me happy. Oh, I bet. That's such a great energy. Third graders, they're amazing. They have so much enthusiasm for life. That's a great time. That must be fun. So when, with your skills and your abilities, you have all these positive attributes, but you know what happens sometimes when we start thinking about those is that we get this little trap of the voice of that inner critic pops in. And when that happens, and we've all experienced this, I know, we start to dismiss those positive attributes. And to make a little shift on this, because it's a habit for us, right? We tell ourselves how stupid we are, whatever. We did this wrong, we did that wrong. And we go on and on. We don't think we can do something. We're scared of this, we're scared of that. So we start to listen to that voice. But for a little perspective shift, what we don't understand is that these positive attributes are part of our soul's expression. When we listen to that self-critical voice, letting it cause the doubt or the fear, what we're doing is we're denying our soul. We're denying its expression. We're saying we're not good enough. But our soul is the essence of who we are, and it is a part of the divine energy. So if we are criticizing ourselves, listening to that inner voice that judges us, we are actually criticizing our soul, and we're actually criticizing the divine energy that is within us and all around us. I don't know about you, but that makes me say to myself, I don't ever want to speak badly about myself again, because I would not want to criticize my soul, and certainly not the divine energy, right? Interesting little shift on that inner critic voice. So if you can remember when you're criticizing yourself, you're actually criticizing the universal energy, that might help you stop. It's something to consider. So it's important for us to positively acknowledge our strengths and abilities because it is a part of our soul and it will help you with your growth. It really will. So now I want to talk about soul lessons. We've already well established that your experiences here are directly helping your soul grow. So obviously, these are the lessons, right? So here's a simple way to discovering what your soul lessons are in this particular lifetime. Very simple way. Look at your challenges. Just look at them. What is something that you've struggled with over and over and over? You'll find that there is usually a theme. So when I think back on my life as myself, I can see I spent much of my time suppressing myself, trying to fit in, trying to belong, trying to be liked. And I became a bit of a perfectionist, trying to do everything right so people wouldn't judge me. A little bit of a control freak. If I kept everything in control around me, then nothing would go wrong, and then nobody would be judging or criticizing me. So when I look back at that, I can see that my primary lesson is to be strong in the power of myself. And if I'm strong in the power of myself, I'm believing in myself, I'm trusting myself. Okay, so you can see how that goes, right? I look at my challenges. What is it that has affected me throughout my life? Sometimes they're unaware beliefs. And for a long time, I had no idea I was doing this. A long, long time. I had no clue. And eventually I figured it out. But if you start to look at the things that you're afraid of, or things that concern you, or how you adjust your behavior to keep yourself safe from something else, that will give you a hint as to what your challenge might be. I had a friend who was always upset because she didn't think her mother loved her. And so her struggle was keeping her stuck in complaining. So she was complaining all the time. And as she's complaining, she's also looking outside of herself for proof that she's unloved from not only her mother, but other people. This eventually morphed into being disappointed when other people didn't meet her expectations, or they didn't treat her the way they should have. And she would say things like, well, they obviously don't like her or don't love her. And she would talk about how she would cut them out of her lives and things like that. So the sole lesson that this friend needs to learn would be what? I'm sure you're figuring it out, right? What would it be? It would be that she needs to love herself and not look to others to validate her worth. So what's happening here is we start to look at this from a different perspective. We're letting go of those false beliefs and these effects of human conditioning. You know, we accept our physical circumstances and that they're helping us with soul growth, and we're willing to do whatever we have to do to live authentically as we're evolving. So a couple other examples. So say you're having financial struggles. You've had them your whole life. You know, you can't get enough money. You try, whatever it is. Your soul lesson in there may be something along the lines of trusting, or it may be wanting to experience gratitude for what you already have. If your family is fighting all the time, of course, what are you going to be looking for? What would your lesson be? How to create peace in your life. If you can't get ahead, life is too hard. Your lesson could be something along the lines of being persistent or dedicated. Maybe it's wanting to become more optimistic, or recognizing your self-worth, or taking action. There can be so many lessons here. These lessons for our soul are inner shifts. Okay, they're inner shifts. We're shifting things inside of ourselves. You notice everything I said was self-love, trust, gratitude, persistence, dedication. Those are feelings, those are qualities that we have within ourselves. Our soul lessons are going to revolve around those things. And when we shift the inner, this leads to outer shifts. So if I'm going to learn to trust myself and believe in myself, that means my outer shift is I'm going to take action to create the life I want to have. See how it works? It's actually really simple, isn't it? It's quite simple. So if it's self-love that is our soul lesson, that means I'm going to take action to take care of myself. I'm going to take action to accept myself as I am. I'm going to take action to release any beliefs that are holding me back from believing that I'm a good person, worthy of love. I'm going to do that. If I've been struggling with the financial struggles, that kind of thing, if I got financial issues and I'm trying to figure this out, I want to trust that what is going to come to me is what's supposed to come to me, but that I can also take action and go out and try to create what I want. So it all ties in. The inner shifts to the outer. So when we become aware of these keys I've been talking about, then we encourage our self-growth and our soul growth. And then we're creating a happier life with more meaning. And here's a good one, right? When we learn our soul lessons, we're actually living in our soul's purpose. So we're living in our soul's purpose. So what is the purpose? I've already touched on it previously. It's freely expressing ourselves. It's becoming aligned with who we are at the soul level. Becoming aligned, we're aware of our soul. Our soul's purpose is to be. We are to be our souls. As that, we're going to listen to our inner guidance, our inner wisdom, and we live as authentically as possible. When we don't listen to our soul, when we don't trust ourselves, when we don't love ourselves, when we're not paying attention to our own inner guidance, that's when we're going to get caught up in pain or illness or worry or fear or doubt or stress, all of those things. So anytime you are not feeling peaceful, kind, loving, all of the good positive emotions, anytime you're not feeling that, there is something here that needs to be shifted. We've got to change something. And I'm betting that it has something to do with your soul lesson. So as you're thinking about this, tell me, have you figured out what some of your soul lessons are? Have you been thinking about this as I'm talking about it, going, that's what it is? I would bet several of you have probably thought to yourself, that's it exactly. I have been struggling with this for my whole life, but now that I understand it, now I can start to do something about it. I can start to encourage that and work on releasing what's ever in my way. So your soul lesson, it's kind of interesting when we think about soul lessons because your soul already knows it, but your conscious physical being is just figuring it out. So we're catching up. We're remembering is what we're doing. We're remembering our soul, remembering what we need to know to live in this life. Yeah, Ashley saying lots of things come to mind. Yes, good point. I do want to mention that. Thank you, Ashley. Is that your soul lesson may not be just one thing, right? Because of course, as we're evolving and growing in this physical incarnation, we may learn one lesson and then have to learn another. Or in the aspect of like self-love or something, there may be different parts of each of one of those. So there might be different sections, if you will. So we may have to learn one part and then another and then another. They all encompass as the same thing. Never worry that you're not going to figure it out because your soul will not let you not figure it out. I'm pretty sure that made sense. So your soul will let you know what you're supposed to figure out. And just follow it, one piece after another. Becoming aware really does help. Soul lesson book. Is there an actual soul lesson book out there, Leanne? Yeah, that would be a fun book. If there's not, maybe I'll write that one as my next one. We'll see. So, as you're growing, as you're living here in this particular lifetime, when you have your struggles, your challenges, and you're thinking, why? Why? Remember, everything is here for your soul's purpose. So understand the keys that I've talked about. You've chosen your path in this lifetime for your soul growth. You've chosen it. Okay, at your soul level, you did it. Everything's here to help you with your growth. So what did you learn? How did it help your soul grow? As you're thinking about the soul growing, don't forget to remember and acknowledge your positive qualities. Keep those. They're good. You need them. They're part of you. You're expressing your soul with them. They're helping you have more meaning and purpose. And then explore your struggles. Explore your challenges. Is there a theme there? It's perfect for you. I'm hoping that this is in your book. It's actually not, Joanna, because I'm not really talking about the soul. Well, I am talking about the soul, but not to this extent. This is actually a much deeper topic. And I've noticed over the last couple years that my shows and stuff have become more soul oriented. So maybe that will be, maybe that's where I'll head next. So my first book will be, look at that, I'm talking like I'm already going to do another one. My first book will be like a foundation, reclaiming your power so you can get your joy back and be your authentic self, which is your soul, right? So I am talking about that in the book, a lot actually. So I am talking about you being yourself as your soul. So maybe the next one will be even deeper. Wholeheartedly agree with all that has been said. thought provoking. There's another book for you. Thank you, Chuck. Yeah, yeah. We'll see. Well, when I finish this one, then we'll see. I have a big deadline next week, so we'll see how that goes. I wish, believe, yes, believe. That's important. Yes. Thank you, Leanne. I'm looking forward to reading both myself, I guess. Yeah, so maybe I'll start the next one. I've got ideas in my head. You know how that plays in there. Yeah, but finish one first. Whew, can only do so much at a time here. And then I got to take a break. So for tonight's topic, your soul growth, all about the evolution of your soul. This lifetime is your absolute perfect opportunity. It is perfect for you to become aware and trust your soul. Really, what that is you're trusting yourself, because your soul is yourself. So you're trusting yourself. And then you listen to yourself and follow its guidance. I do talk about that in my book, listening to your inner wisdom and checking in, making sure you're paying attention to yourself and following your own truth, not someone else's. So when you do all of this, when you're aware of this, you will be happier and you will experience more meaning in your life. Your soul, yourself, has chosen how you want to learn in this lifetime. The first time I heard about this concept, I was so surprised. I couldn't believe it. I thought, you've got to be kidding me. There's no way I chose that. I was not going to choose all of this, but I did. And here we are. So, and now I'm telling you everything I know about everything. Great to be reminded of our reality. Yes. So that is all I want to talk about tonight, except make sure if you're not following my page that you do. Colleen Vander Zyden, Medium and Intuitive Life Coach, and Lily Dale's page. Lily Dale Assembly Incorporated is the official page. LilyDaleAssembly.org. That's where you'll find everything out about what's happening this summer. My website is ColleenVanderZyden.com or PsychicMediumColleen.com if you like that one better. It's the same place. It all works. I've got lots of other domain names. Maybe I'll give you a new one next time. And Lily Dale season's opening soon. And I do know that I have several days this summer where I am already booked. So I know people are coming, more than several days. So I know people are coming and planning to be here, depending on what happens with the state and the limitations of how many people in hotels and all of that. That may limit how many people come, but don't forget we have lots of guest houses. So you can come and stay here in Lilydale and have some fun. So I'm going to check your comments one more time and then I will wrap up. Yes, so much of what we are learning comes down to one lesson in many forms: forgiveness. And not just forgiving ourselves, but forgiving others, but also forgiving ourselves. I was just editing that today, Greg, that section in my book. Yeah, so that's fun. Yes, thank you, Denise. Thanks, Ray. It was nice seeing you, even though I don't really see you. I feel like I do. And thank you, Dana. I'm glad you needed to hear this tonight. I don't know, it just came to me, and so here we are. So thank you, everybody, for watching and listening tonight, and I will tell you goodbye. I may or may not see you next week, depending on how my book editing goes, because we're at a critical juncture right now, so we will see. But I will let you know. So you guys have a great week, and I will see you next time I see you. Bye.